So can you be successful and happy at the same time? Is it possible for those two things to happen? And that's what we're going to discuss this morning. I'm going to look at the different components that make up that statement, because there is lots of different answers to it. And I think it would be a really good insight into your pursuit of happiness, your pursuit of success, the considerations that we have to take in when we are trying to find success and when we're trying to find happiness. And I don't think there is, well, in fact, I'm going to hold that. So we're Monday morning, we're show 456. This is the last show before this is the last week of shows before I'm away on my honeymoon next week. So next week there are no shows. So we've got these three to smash out this week. So we're going to smash them out and we're going to deliver at the highest level. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boorman, and if you are watching, please do come through and hit the love heart button, but also in the comments below, comment whether you think you can be successful and happy at the same time. Okay, can you be successful and happy at the same time? So we're currently running the Awaken Your Potential course that starts today, our free 3-day course. So I'm looking forward to delivering that. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about tonight is this concept of can you be successful and happy at the same time? So let's have a look at this. The answer is, I think, obviously, yes, you can be. But I think that it's quite a subjective statement. It's quite subjective. Success is subjective and happiness is subjective. Let's look at a couple of examples. Let's look at example one. Let's look at one man's version of success. Let's say he is driven by financial success. Okay, so that means that he wants to be financially successful for whatever reason. He wants to be financially successful. That means he wants a nice house, he wants money in the bank, he wants to provide for his family, he wants the nice car. Okay. So in order to achieve that level of success that they're looking for, to have a lucrative career, business, okay, there is a certain amount of work that has to go into that. Okay, so when we're looking at building that career, that business, there are certain sacrifices that we have to make to achieve that. Okay, and I recognise them because I was there when I first started business. That was my motivator when I very first started, and that motivator come off the back of being very poor. Okay, throughout my life, and from the fact that we nearly lost everything when I went into business for myself, to taking that risk. So my mindset was that. So the sacrifice when I did that was that I wasn't spending enough time with my children. I wasn't spending enough time with my partner. I was neglecting my health mentally, emotionally and physically. So on one hand, I was building an element of success in terms of what I felt my outcomes are. And in this particular example, we are trying to understand that actually this example A, this man wants he wants to build a lucrative life, he wants to have money in his bank, that's what he thinks success is. Remember, it's subjective. But the sacrifice on this side is that everything else is taking the hit, which overall makes them feel unhappy. So we can't have this level of success and be happy because there is too much of a sacrifice. Okay, does that make sense so far? Then when we look at the example B, so we look at example B, and example B is a man who sees success as being lucrative with his time. So that means that he spends time with the people that he loves the most. It means that he spends time doing the things that he loves. It means that he spends time in more focused on family oriented stuff, which is great. And that has been me for the last 3 years. Okay, I've been all about putting my time and my energy into model B. So my model of success was having the freedom to be able to do what I want to do with my family, right? But then on the other side, there is this element of feeling quite unhappy because we're not pushing our career, we're not pushing our business, or we're not pushing the things that allow us to have that freedom. Okay, so on one flip side of the coin, I've got this element of success because I'm getting to spend the time and the energy and the focus. On the other, I'm not paying attention to the business that I need to, or in this example of somebody else, their career or their business is not getting the attention that it needs to get that element of professional success or fulfillment. Okay, so on both of those different examples, we've shown where one element of success has an element of sacrifice, which then leads to unhappiness. So what's the answer? Can you have success and happiness at the same time? Yes, but also no. And the reason that we have to look at this and think, how can it be a yes, is that it really comes down to the fundamentals of the individual. So the individual is the person that has to be able to go through this process, build up his values, build up his characters, build up what he wants in life, understand what happiness is, understand what contentment is, understand what his success is. So what my values are, what my characteristics are, what my vision of success is, what my vision of happiness is going to be different to everybody that watches this video. Okay, so what I need to do is make sure that I'm working on me to understand that and put that into perspective. What do I need to do to be successful and happy at the same time? So it's the balance equation, right? So we then come on to use our elite 5 pillars. So the 5 pillars are the health, the relationships, the personal development, the fun aspect, and then the health. So we look at those 5 pillars and we go, right, how am I spending my time? What am I doing that's putting too much focus on one pillar and neglecting another? Where do I feel most unhappy when I'm not paying attention to one particular pillar? So it's a juggling act. But when you don't work on yourself, and when you don't show up for yourself, and when you don't build standards for yourself, and when you don't have discipline, what you end up doing is get sucked into the black hole where either success or happiness ends up getting affected. Okay, so you could be really happy being at home all the time, but we're not being successful in our professional life. Okay, and vice versa. So really, the answer is yes and no. But I think, again, it depends on where you're at in your life right now, how you're conducting yourself right now, how you're spending your time, your energy and focus. And it's the search for contentment. So contentment is what sits for me bang in between the middle of success and happiness. Right in the middle, there is this thing called contentment. If I can just get enough of success and I can just get enough of happiness, then I'm in the bubble of contentment. If I have too much success in one whatever that is in your life, and it's sacrificing something else, then the happiness suffers. If I do too much of things that make me happy, okay, but then there's an element of a lack of success, eventually that's going to come all the way back around to make us unhappy because we'll be unfulfilled. Unagi. So what we're looking for is the pursuit and the hunt of contentment. And you can only find that when you show up. You can only find that when you work on yourself. You can only find that when you do your reflections. You can find that when you have the ability to put perspective on what you're doing within your life. Am I getting enough success? Am I getting enough happiness? If I'm not getting one or the other, what's missing and what do I need to do about it? Alright guys, I hope that helps. I was just thinking about this at the weekend, so I thought I'd share it with you. Okay. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. I think it's an interesting topic. There will be lots of different discussion about it. So please do put it on. I will see you Wednesday. Have a great start to the week.